little bit of an update on the JD and AH situation that I want to go over with you guys. Got some more information on what happened with Fantastic Beasts 3. There's also some new stuff that's come out about the actual case that I think is really, really interesting that not a lot of outlets are even talking about. It's like, well, we'll just sweep that one away. We're going to just go ahead and ignore that one. So don't forget that he's not giving up. He does plan on appealing this case. Now, will he win? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Two things to touch on here. One, there's some information coming out that the judge actually has ties to AH's lawyer, which I think is pretty interesting. There's a little bit of information there that is interesting to look at, but there's not much to go on other than speculation. Now, from what I understand, if you have a connection like this, because apparently the judge's ex-wife is like really close with AH's lawyer in England. Now that is interesting. I believe Tug has broken that down. I would go check that video out if I were you. There's also some information coming out that some of the witnesses that were on the stand over there, AH is paying their bills. And that's really interesting that nobody is really talking about. I know Tug has talked about it, but I mean people that break down these cases in the media. Like, they're just ignoring all of that. And instead of talking about it, they're putting out headlines like this. This is from the National Post. Full pay for a terrible person, Johnny Depp, dropped after filming one scene in Harry Potter spinoff. So we're just going all. This is almost like they're asking for his attention with this National Post article. It's disgusting. But I want to get right into the main topic here. Johnny Depp gets to keep all of his money, 8 figures actually, which is a ton of money that he was going to be paid for this film. Was it 8? Yeah, 8 figures. So all of that money, thanks to a pay or play contract, he gets to keep it. It's pretty expensive. That's a pretty expensive bill for them, considering they're going to have to pay a new actor probably around the same amount of money unless they get some nobody. So they're pretty much just doing this to appease the mob. Now, I see a lot of people saying, did J.K. Rowling abandon him, by the way? And I don't know if she had any say in this. I've been looking for information on that. That seems to just be people using that in the title to make it sexy. I don't think J.K. Rowling had anything to do with this. This was a Warner decision, and they're the ones that made this happen. And it's talked about in here from the Hollywood Reporter, who have an insider telling them that Toby Emmerich is the one who made the decision a few days ago. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Warner's wanted to allow due process to take its course before making a decision on the embattled star's future in the franchise. Once Judge Andrew Nicol ruled that he accepted AH's testimony, which was detailed and painted a picture of Depp as the bad person, Emmerich's decision was a fait accompli, with the studio opting to recast the role less than midway through the franchise. Still, Warner Brothers will be on the hook for Depp's full salary, even though he only had shot one scene since production on September 20th in London. Like many A-list stars, Depp had a so-called pay or play contract, which requires that he will be fully compensated whether or not the film is made, and even if it is recast, as is common with stars of his level. There was no morality clause in this contract, even though it was amended with each new installment. Technically, Depp was not fired by Warner Brothers, but asked to resign. It is unclear what recourse it would have had if the star refused. Well, they would have just fired him. Okay. This was done for a few reasons. One, Warner Brothers was so. It's tough to say if Depp's career is over. You know, I don't know. I think it is for a few years for sure. You will not see him in a big blockbuster. He'll probably do indie films. And then with all things, eventually things calm down Also the outcome of the next trial in Virginia is going to be looked at. And then if he wins an appeal, of course, that'll be good. Those will all be good things. But this was for sure a big blow for him, losing this. And this is what happens. Now, Warner Brothers doesn't want to fire him, and we don't know the details of what that conversation was between him and probably Toby Emmerich here. We have no idea. But if I were to guess, I would say, look, it's a bad look right now. Would you please just walk away? We're asking you to. Maybe in the future, we can bring you back for something. I guarantee it was something like that. But if he had refused to step down, what would have happened? They would have just fired him. I mean, they were set on removing him. But I like the wording, like, oh, technically they didn't fire him. No, they fired him. They fired him. It's exactly what happened. So this was just a nice little update to go over. We find out they were committed to getting rid of him, and they were waiting for the trial, and I think Disney's doing the same thing. Pirates of the Caribbean 6, if I had to guess, he won't be in it, and they're just going to go full on with the reboot and think that they can make these movies without him, and they're going to get a big, shocking box office slap in the face when they try to make a Pirates of the Caribbean without Captain Jack Sparrow, because everyone's heard of him. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if his career is over. It's definitely over for a couple of years. I think he'll do indie films, and then eventually maybe he'll bounce back. I don't take that as, I'm not putting him down. I'm just being honest to what I think is going on here. I don't want to lie and say, yeah, he's going to be back in AAA movies next year. I don't think that that's going to happen unless he were to win in Virginia. That would be a different story. We just have to wait and see what happens there. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all this. What are your thoughts? Also, if you would, please like and subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.